Hitman 3's 4th elusive target coming tomorrow, I thought it would be nice to create a video to help newer players tackle these elusive threats. In this video I'll give some tips and tricks to deal with these elusive targets. Quick disclaimer, do not follow these as like a rule of thumb. This is not a guide. You should use these as guidelines and you should experiment yourself with elusive targets and with Hitman in general. That being said, let's get into it, starting with the very first and obvious tip. Make sure that you know the map well before doing an elusive target on it. This may be an obvious tip, but it can really save your ass in elusive targets, as elusive targets often have changes to the maps, and if you know the map well, you'll more easily notice those changes. For example, in the Undying there's a security guard up the tower next to an entrance to the Kronstadt Bayside Center. In that elusive target, it's an easy free guard disguise, but in other cases, changes to a map can be more troublesome, like removing the cupboards in the stowaway to hide Jimmy Chen when he goes into the bathroom. Knowing the map will also save you in other ways. If you know your way around the map, you basically know all the escape routes for when you get into a shootout or for when you're found out doing something illegal. Knowing prominent guard routes can also help. For example, in Isle of Skill, there's a pair of deluxe guards that patrol around the castle. If you know they exist and you know when they show up at certain points in the castle, you can prepare for them and you won't be surprised by them when you're doing an elusive target on Isle of Skill. All in all, it's imperative that you know a map well before trying to tackle such an elusive threat. But what do you bring to kill one of these one-of-a-kind bastards? Obviously, you can bring whatever you want, and I implore you to experiment and think about different loadouts that suit your personal playstyle. But here's some loadouts that will cover some bases for elusive targets. The silenced pistol, lockpick and coin. Classic but useful. This standard loadout works because it covers unlocking, distraction and killing. You can use this loadout when you're not really sure if you want to bring anything specific for an elusive target. The silenced pistol, lockpick, briefcase and remote emetic gas device unlocked on mastery level 10 on Haven Island. The fart case is basically the new electric phone. By pulling out a gas device and putting it back in, you can detonate it while it's in the briefcase, making isolating elusive targets a breeze. There's also stuff like no loadout and loadouts with lots and lots of explosive and guns. These are for different kinds of playstyles, for people who want to challenge themselves or for people who just want fun. But like I said earlier, there's no best loadout, so go experiment and find what loadout suits you. My third tip is to observe and experiment before trying to eliminate the target. What I mean by this is that you should look at the target's route, the elusive target's route that is. Find the elusive targets, observe what he does. Does he drink? Does he stand near any accident kills? Does he respond to distractions? How many guards does he have? What happens when he goes into a panic state? Experiment, look for opportunities, and when you found something you think is reliable, either restart to do it from the top, or just eliminate it right there and then. Also, keep in mind that if you don't kill the target, you're free to restart at any point. My final tip only applies to PC players, but I strongly advise PC players to download the Elusive Target mod on Nexus. This is a mod that allows PC players to check out and experiment elusive targets without the risk of dying or failing. You can also replay and save within them. This is where most of my footage from this video comes from. I'll leave a link for it down in the description. In conclusion, make sure you know the map well, bring the proper tools for the job and experiment. In the end, elusive targets are just like any game mode in Hitman. There's not one proper way to play it. So just have fun with it and don't worry too much about failing or the rewards. That's all I have to say for this video, so I'll see you in the next one. See ya!